But honestly, what I'm noticing is that the only time it sounds good to say I'm putting others first is when you don't put yourself first. And so it sounds good to put something first or someone first subconsciously. And that's what a lot of times we're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that it has a place in time. So yes, we can put others in front of us because we should, at times. But you only are supposed to do that when you can do it. So if you don't put you first, you won't know what you have to give and what your max is. So by you not putting you first, you're ending up overworking yourself, and that's where we get the sickness. That's where we get the unhealthiness, and then we don't have processes to handle these things. Then that's where we get the weight gain, and then that's where we get the cellulite, and that's where we get the bodies that we don't like, but we have the money that we like, right? We'll have everybody else happy, but then we're not.
Yeah. TK. Jersey. I've been on the grind, man. All it took was patience. That money on my mind, man. All I see is hating. He jocking on the low, man. You know the kid is wavy. Like how you mad at me when you know you're fucking lazy. Should've changed.
What's going on? It's your girl, Health is Key, and you are tuned into the Health and Hip Hop Podcast Show with your girl, Health is Key. I'm so used to saying with your girl, Health is Key, and my co-host, composer, Rel. Shout out to Rel. He's not here today. Don't come up with those negative rumors. That's my guy. We here forever. He's just busy. I've been busy. And as you know, if you know our motto, man, me and Rel motto is, health first. And so a lot of the times we need to take mental breaks. A lot of the times I need to take breaks because we do this out of our pockets. And also I have a growing business. And I hope a lot of people, a lot of ladies and men become better versions of themselves. And so when it boils down to the show, this is an ultimate dream of mine, but it's just going to have to come as it comes for right now at this moment because, when we get the energy to do it, we do it. We don't overwork ourselves all the time. Sometimes it is important for us to overwork and push. And then sometimes you got to know when to rest. Sometimes you got to know when to go with ideas. Sometimes you got to let ideas flow. Sometimes you got to hammer them. And so this idea right now, as y'all see, awesome. I love it. It's for the community. It's been helping so many of y'all, but it's still in the flow state. We're about to put it in the fourth state. So I appreciate y'all patience for the way that these episodes drop because I know that y'all love them and they're helping y'all. And so, I'm just saying that because I'm bringing it to the topics of BBLs today and why that's important. But anyways, when it boils down to how this show is going, thank y'all for tuning in. As always, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all check out all the other episodes. These episodes, I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it because it's my show. I have been running into people and they're telling me that these episodes are life-changing. I've seen people come up to me and tell me their uncles watched the show and turned themselves into rehab. I've seen people have restaurants and tell me people are coming into the restaurants to eat better. People have been on their deathbeds of serious situations and thought of the information in these shows and have walked out of the hospital in a more positive light to take care of themselves. And so, excuse me. And so that's why I said flow. Everything is not always meant to be pushed. Everything is not always meant to be forced down people's throat. And also what I want to say about forcing things down people's throat is that you have to be ready for the energy that you put behind something. You also have to be ready for what comes with that energy. So for me, I'm saying this because, this is my baby and, mentally I want to do so much more, but spiritually I know I still other things that I have to take care of before I could push and full throttle rock this, because some of the episodes we talk about feminine energy. This episode is specifically about BBLs, and how can I put this? I can easily put these episodes and enforce them and put clips in because the information is so deep, but I ain't get the sign to do it yet. So I appreciate y'all patience. And with that being said, shout out one more time to my guy, composer Rel, who will be back in a few weeks with me. Shout out to the upcoming guests that we have. This is my first episode rocking out with myself. So let's get it. Thank y'all so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe. Please share this this video with anybody thinking about BBLs, with anybody that has a BBL, anybody that has a problem with BBLs, anybody that's like, man, I don't care, I'm getting it, baby. I'm going to do what I want to do with my body. This is all for you. And this is just information. This is coming from somebody who has been helping women build their bodies naturally since I was 21. All right. I'm 33 years old, going on 34. This is all I've been doing my entire life as an adult. And so, you know, let's get into this topic. All right. So if you see me reaching for my phone, it is because I need these topics. Okay. So let's get into the topics. Let's get into what's going on with the BBL community, right? One of the main things, right? What is BBL, right? That is when we are taking fat from one area of the body and putting it into our butt, okay? And so if you don't know, if you're sleeping under a rock and you don't know, that's what that is. And it is one of the most dangerous plastic surgeries that there is, point blank period, okay? But this is not a show to bash anyone. This is not a show to talk negative. This is a show that I'm sure is going to bring light to situations that I know y'all are not thinking about, because there's nowhere in the world you can think about these things, because you're not, most of the time when women want surgeries or when women want to change their bodies, they're in their own mind frame. They're in their own thoughts. It's just them thinking, them talking to themselves. And so you're not hearing a lot of the truths, because yes, you can watch a lot of these videos about the journeys and about, the post-op and all these things on YouTube, but I guarantee you, right? I guarantee that there are just some things that people are not sharing with you, not on purpose. They could be sharing everything on purpose with you, but there are just things that they may not be sharing because they just don't know. All right. And so this is what this show is for. All right. So who am I? How am I? What makes me qualified to talk about BBLs, right? Who is she, right? So number one, look at how many women I've been helping. All right. Put it up there, y'all. Editor, put it up there. Bing. Bing. All right. And I just want to talk about the main focuses of what people think and what's the public perception of BBL. And y'all could let me know if I'm right. Let me know if I'm wrong, even though I know I'm right. All right. So I'm a trainer. I've been doing this since 21, okay? Helping women who have not believed in themselves, right? Who have had a complete, including myself, right? Show a picture of myself. Look at this, right? This is me, okay? This is me, okay? And a complete version of yourself. And I'm talking about mentally, physically, spiritually, right? And why this is important to the BBL, because it is, right? I've been helping women become who they want to be and still doing that, right? And I've been doing that professionally, right? So one of the main perceptions of BBL, right? If you see me looking at my phone, I need these notes. Is that, I just had a conversation before I came here. They were like, women who get, plastic surgery have low self-esteem, or, they want attention, or, they lazy, they're cheating. Right. And so I want you to know that is not, that is not how I think. Okay. Excuse me. I actually think, and I'm saying think, right. I actually think that it is way harder. It is absolutely way harder to get a BBL than it is to actually get it in the gym, right? And I mean mentally harder and physically, because people think that it's cheating, but you still go through the same mental combat with surgery and with the gym. And the thing about the surgery is you have to go through it twice, right? And what do I mean by that, right? When you go to the gym, right? Or when you decide to go to the gym, right? There is a mental combat of, dang, this is hard. Dang, I don't think I can do it, right? Especially if you've been trying back and forth, trying to lose weight, trying to get the body that you want, trying to gain weight, right? And, you're not getting that result. So all of these experiences store in your mind, right? So every time you try to do it again, if it's another bad experience, that becomes our perception. Right. And then, usually you need someone to show you how to think outside of that. Right. And so when we get to that factor of hiring someone, whether it be a coach, a mentor, or actually saying, I'm gonna be patient enough to really take my time and learn this, right? There's still the part of you that is on this level, right? And then there's a part of you who wants to be here, right? And so in between you being here and you wanting to be here, right? And we're talking strictly shaping our body right now, but this goes for any type of goal that you have. There's going to be some type of confusion because you've never been here. And in between you getting from here to here is where that mayhem is, right? And so when you have a coach, they help guide you through. But when it's just you, right? You're gonna go through here, up, down here, till somebody kind of walks you through, or you allow your experiences to bring you here. Then it's a little annoying. Then you got to go back, but you're a little further because you learned something from there. Then you go here, and then it's a little bit up more. Then you may go back, and then now it's a bigger jump because of all the times you start and stop, and you're collecting new information, right? Eventually you get it right. Now you may get there beat up because you go by yourself, right? But you get there, right? But if you get there with a coach, you still get there a little beat up, you know what I mean? Little hits, but the car accident is not that bad, right? You're not getting total, right? And so when we talk about working out, right? That's what that is, right? We're becoming from here to here, right? And so, whether we do that with a coach or whether we do that via patience with trial and error, right? And making sure that we finish, right? That gets us there, right? So that's that mental combat that I'm talking about. Now, when it comes down to surgery, right? You're not going against the mental combat, right? And I didn't even talk about the mental combat in the actual gym, right? Where you got to go and do those exercises and you like, damn, I got 3 more left. Or talking about the mental combat when you got to get up, you're like, yo, I really don't want to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you just get up and do it. Or when you walking into the gym, you like, I just can't wait till I get out of here. These are all the thoughts that that come into the limelight when you exercising, right? And then the thing about it is once you go through that hardcore exercise, right? For me, in the beginning, it was, dang, yo, I gotta do this tomorrow. I gotta do this next month. I gotta do this 6 months from now. I gotta do this forever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, damn. So one, people think that, this girl is getting surgery. This woman is getting surgery. They're cheating. Let's talk about the mental combat that goes down with that, right? So the mental combat of saying, hey, I'm this version and I want to look like this, right? And it's via surgery is the same thing. So if I'm here, right, and I want to get a body, right, that looks a certain way and it's via surgery, there's still a combat. Now, the combat just changes. But the reason why I say twice is, I'm going to break it down to you, why to me it's times 2. Because now, right, you have to go through the mental combat of, damn, my date is coming. I've done so much research on just women and their journeys and their experiences of how many times they've pushed their date back because of being afraid, right? And the night before, I can't even imagine the night before driving into the hospital, into the surgery place, in the car, right? What those conversations are, wondering if you're going to wake up, right? So there isn't a difference. There isn't a difference in the mental combat. And to me, that is way more intense than me figuring out if I'm going to go to the gym and I'm like, damn, I don't feel like doing it. So when I say cheat, it is not cheating. It is absolutely not cheating. So, I want people to understand this because, we are becoming disrespectful to people. And also, some of us are downplaying it as well. And also, it's happening. And so I just want to shed light to it. So one, you go through that phase, right? And then the second phase is the actual mental capacity of the pain. So the same pain that I'm going through, talking about, man, I got to do 3 more. Because when you're trying to build your glutes, when you're really trying to build a solid frame and get stronger in the gym, that means that you're pushing to the capacity. And when you push to that capacity, you're talking about the last 3 to 7 reps being very difficult for you to finish, right? And that pain that when you like, oh man, when you get up off that rack or off that machine or whatever workout you're doing, you drop those weights and you like, man, and you got another set, right? That pain, and I'm calling it pain because it's a positive pain, but it hurts at that time frame, right? And we just develop a tolerance for it, but when you come out of that surgery room, you're in massive pain, right? So we're both still going through pain. right? And so I'm going through pain in the gym, you going through pain, laying on your stomach, right? So that's one mental capacity, right? Now we got to go through the mental capacity of as a person working out in the gym. Now you got to go through the capacity of going every day, right? Fighting when you don't want to go, fighting when you got traumatic experiences going on, fighting when you're stressed out, fighting when your money is funny and you got to go to the store and get that, fighting when you want to go to the club and that's been your thing, going to the club, drinking, and now you got to be responsible and go to bed so you can get up and work out, right? Now that person that's post-op is now going through the whole different ball game, right? You becoming a whole new person because now your body has to adjust to fat being in different areas, right? That they're not talking about. And then also now, being able to, if you was able to like just small things that you don't think about, which is like laying on your stomach, even if you are a stomach sleeper, right? That's the only place that you can lay on, right? Losing a traumatic amount of blood, right? Which anytime when you work out, right? You sweat, right? You don't only just lose water, but you also lose vital nutrients, which is why herbs and plant medicine is important to put these things back, right? But when you go through surgery, you're losing a traumatic amount of blood, right? And just like in a pregnancy and things like that, which is postpartum stress, postpartum depression and things like that. Whenever you lose a gigantic amount of blood, you're losing a significant amount of minerals and vitamins, micronutrients that like your brain functions off of. So not only do a lot of women go through depression after this major surgery, right? Just like how a woman goes through postpartum depression because of the way that women eat as before pregnancy, the way that women eat before post-op. They're not talking to y'all about how to, if you're going to do any type of surgery, the type of diets I'm seeing in a lot of y'all videos where I'm seeing these journeys of, getting prepared for surgery. Some of y'all are going out and drinking alcohol. Some of y'all are going out and eating inflammatory foods, right? Foods that have no nutrients, foods that are overcooked, foods that are over processed. And then you're going into surgery, right? And, losing a ton of blood that you haven't even prepared or put in nutrients on purpose for the amount of blood that you're actually going to lose, and nobody's telling you these things. This is why I said this video is so important, because I'm going to talk to y'all about things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not thinking of on either side. So back to the mental compound of this, right? Now you have to go through, the healing, right? Which is a whole nother mental aspect. So while I'm sitting here sore and, recovering from, the exercises, or somebody that's starting to work out is recovering, stretching, taking ice baths, getting massages and things like that, you getting massages, right? So I'm just trying to explain to y'all the difference in the fights, right? It's going to be a fight or whatever one you want to pick. This video is to express the things so you could decide what type of fight you can really give. Because, and so you don't play yourself, or you don't, and I don't want to say play, because I don't want want people to think that because you got surgery, you played yourself. That is not what this video is about. This video is to talk about, just so that people who haven't had surgery can, understand where, these women are coming from and what they're going through. Because what I'm seeing when women talk about, the BBL is, once they get it, they feel good. But now, the fight is fighting other people, because they're like, oh, you ain't earned that body. And you damn well did. You damn well did. And period, point blank. Now, because what fight was different? What I'm talking about here. So this is what this video is for. So it's not to downplay any type of surgery. It's actually to commend y'all, because that takes a different type of mind frame, but it's also to let people who are thinking about it understand truths that people are not talking about. So this is to hit both sides. Period, point blank. I ain't fake, and I ain't doing this. This is out my pocket. I can give all this information to myself or to my clients, right? So this is strictly to help. So let's leave it there, because I can go down a rabbit hole on the mental aspect of it. But that was one side of it, right? So the second side, when it comes to the fitness part, right, the double mental, is this, right? When you get to the person that you want to be, right? When you start going to the gym and it becomes a normal thing from you not doing anything and people are like, man, you look good. Like, I see the difference, right? You don't see it yet, right? You don't see it yet, right? And so usually it's a 6-month phase where you become a whole nother person, right? And it takes the second 6 months to lock this new person in. It really take about 2 years, right? So same amount of time you take for surgery to heal, right? You don't see your real results, quote unquote, to about a year later, sometimes even longer than that. So it's no difference in the time either, right? This is crazy, right? This is absolutely insane, right? But when you got to lock in that new person, right, that's in the gym, right? And, you know, now you start doing those exercises where, because you got to build up to being able to lift heavy enough to make your body grow, right? You got to build up to that, right? So when you get to that 6-month phase, right, and it's become a comfortable to you, it's become a normal to get up and go to the gym. It's become a normal to be like, I don't want that. It's your thing now, right? Now you got to make it you. Right. So that 6 months is now you locking that new person in, right? That 6 months to a whole nother year, right? To lock that new person in. So now the person that is 6 months post-op and you liking your results, right? We in the same boat, right? You liking your results. You still got another 6 months to go. Like I got another 6 months to go, right? But now you got to lock in the new you. You got to go against people like, man, you ain't hearing that body. Like you ain't, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, now you still got to go through the process of now having to understand what comes with that body, right? Because sometimes if you haven't been born with it, you really don't understand. I've known women that have gotten surgery because they wanted to have a butt and didn't want to get out the car to go to the store because they didn't want the attention. They didn't understand because they wasn't raised with the attention. And so now there's a part of you that you got to learn that comes with being the body part of you, right? That's your job now to master that, because now you got to wing, do he really want to talk to me? Is he really interested? Is he into the body? Now it's all these other thoughts, right, that you got to combat. So that's what I mean by there aren't any difference in the mental challenges. All right. So we're going to leave it there because we're going to have to do a part 2 to this video. We're going to leave it right there at that point. All right, let's see what I want the second part to be, because there are so many topics that we could talk about on here. Let's get it, right? So let's talk about this, right? I just left zucchini bar. I feel like I shout out zucchini bar and blueberry every episode. So shout out to them damn near every episode, right? I was just in there and I was talking to people in there and I was like, oh, I'm about to film. And I was like, oh, my episode is on BBL. The first thing people said, oh, them girls got low self-esteem. We know that is not all the way true, right? So why do most women get BBLs, right? This is something that if you look at my YouTube history, you probably would think like if you click like on my phone and YouTube, or if you go on my TV, you might think like you're trying to get surgery, because when I tell you I'm like obsessed with watching the videos just to see the mind frame that women have to get it, not to downplay. I just want to have an understanding, right, of this, right? And what I've been seeing is just these top reasons, right? Number one, right? And y'all let me know if there's other reasons. Drop them down in the comment. What are some other reasons that y'all have heard, right? Number one is they've tried everything, right? Number two is they didn't think it was possible to get that shape. Like, I got hip dips and, it's just not possible for me to get this body, right? Number three, plain and simple, they simply don't want to do it. They like, look, I don't want to work out. I've been trying to work out. I don't want to work out, right? Number four is, that's number four, wanting to wear clothes they never thought they'd wear, right? Things that you never thought be a possibility for you to get in is one of the reasons. Like, you want to wear clothes that you see, right? When I was close to 250 pounds, that was one of my main reasons. I love clothes. As you can see, I got the Mark and Mindy's on and all that stuff. I ain't no new sneakerhead over here. This ain't new. I ain't 2021 new sneakerhead. We ain't pandemic sneakerheads over here. So, I'm joking. I got to throw little jokes in there, but I wanted to wear clothes that I just hate. Like, see, when I was bigger, I couldn't, how can I put this? Before it wasn't like online, like, so you couldn't just order clothes. I had to go to like Torrid. Like, I had to go with what was in the mall. You know what I'm saying? And I had things in my head that I wanted to wear that I couldn't get in my size. And then also I hated going to the mall with my friends and like having to sneak off and be like, I'll be right back because I just want to go into the plus size store. And they go into any other store. You know what I'm saying? I used to be mad because I'm wasting my time and none of these clothes got my size, right? But now it's different. Now they actually make clothes, bigger. So I understand where y'all coming from when it boils down to like wanting to wear something that is for you, like wanting to wear something where like being able to put on anything you want to put on, and from you not being able to ever do that before, or you feel comfortable enough. I get it. Like, I absolutely get it. All right. And number 5 is sex appeal, right? So with those 4 things, right, I want to talk about what's the reasonings behind why you're failing, right, when it boils down to trying everything, right? So if you don't know, right, and I wouldn't be a businesswoman if I don't shout this part out of the episode, so let's do it. If you don't know, I have a program called Slim Thick Butt and Gut workout program, right? And this program is literally dedicated to realistically, and I say the words realistic because you want your journey to be realistic for you to keep on forever, right? Help women to be able to create curves, slim their waist, and build their butts, right? And build their glutes, right? And so I call it that because that's what y'all care about, right? But when you come in the program, yes, we're going to build some curves and we're going to look popping and we're going to get it popping. As you can see right here, let's show the ladies again. Boom, 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 pow. You know what I mean? So let's do it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, right? Yes, it's that, but it's also an overall, it's a real deal fitness and health program. So yes, you're going to get curves, you're going to get a popping body and popping curves and things like that, but you are also going to develop a strong mind. You are also going to develop realistic eating habits. We are also going to be really eating real food, right? Real whole foods. We're not doing things to cheat, and we're actually, taking our time. It's not a rush thing. All right, because we want to realistically do this, right? And so when I hear women say they've tried everything, right? When I hear this all the time, right? When women call my phone to inquire about my program, and I can make sure that they qualify and we're going to be a good match to help each other, right? I'm helping you, you helping me, right? I hear women say all the time, I'm like, well, why can't you, stay in shape on your own? Like, what's really going on? And it's always, I lost motivation. I just keep losing motivation, right? And this is the same thing. I tried everything, right? A lot of the times I'm gonna just keep it a band with y'all. I'm keeping it 1,000 with y'all. The number one reason why women cannot get the shapes that they want, because we all have we are women, right? We come here with a guaranteed amazing physique. What happens to our physique is really what happens with our time. Period, point blank. Majority of the women, I can say close to 90% of women cannot keep the shape that they want and cannot build the shape that they want because of their jobs, right? And because of not knowing how to take care of yourself in a specific way that caters to where your time goes, right? So a person that is young, right? A person that is, or not even use a person that's young, a person that just works one job, right? A 9 to 5, and they just want a simple life, right? They have a easier chance of keeping the body that they want, because all they got to do is wake up, go to sleep, eat something, go to work, and that's that. Right? So the simple life, right? What you would call, she don't really do nothing. She don't got nothing going on. All she do is work at the grocery store. Simple, right? But some women, y'all got 90 things going on, right? You want to be the head this. You got full-time school, right? You got 3 kids trying to be the mom of the year, pop it on the pole for your man, like be the awesome wife of the year, you know what I mean? And then also, be able to still have time for your friends, still have time for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm trying to say is that your fitness has to match that. right? And so what it takes to actually build the body that you want, if you haven't been doing this the entire time, like if you haven't been taking care of yourself as you go up the pole, right? Then when it's time to actually take care of yourself, what happens is you actually sacrifice you to cater to everybody else. And now you're in your higher 20s, right? You're like, I can't get rid of this gut, right? I keep trying to get rid of this gut. But, you know, when I was younger, I didn't have you didn't have all these tasks on you. So when you just wanted to exercise and lose weight, you could. And you like, I'm getting older now. No, you're getting more responsible now. You know what I'm saying? You want more out of life, and you have not maintained realistically how to take care of yourself with the goals you have. And that's the difference. So when women say, I tried everything, I'm sure you did, but you tried everything that had nothing to do with how your lifestyle is. You don't have time. You shouldn't be trying everything. That's the point. You need what works for you, not everything. Right? And so when women call me and say, I'm losing discipline, the first thing I ask is, well, do you go to work on time? Yeah. You take care of your kids you got children, you take care. Yeah, absolutely. Well, then you sound disciplined to me. Like, I'm like, I don't think you're not disciplined. I just think you don't know how to train for what you do. And I always ask, this is my next question, right? And it never fails, right? And this is my next question. So let me know what exercise looks for you. Every time you get upset, or you hear bad news, or you can't fit your clothes, or you ignore mirrors, and you're fed up again, right? And you're like, tomorrow's the day. I'm doing it, right? What does that look like for you? Oh, it looks like me doing cardio, right? Cutting carbs, eating less, and I'm like, okay, so basically what you're saying is you're cutting your energy source, and you're busting your butt in the gym and doing an hour. I'm like, how long you go to the gym? Like about an hour. Or I hired a trainer. I'm like, so did the trainer ask you, like, do you sleep enough? Do they ask you how much time you have? No, they just come to the gym and make me work an hour. I'm like, but you've never worked out in years. And not even that, you have 2 jobs. Like, why are you working out a full hour and you have 2 jobs and you go to school? Or you're a single mom. You're a single mom with 2 jobs, and you're talking about going to the gym for an entire hour out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it don't sound like you losing motivation. It sounds like you're burning out, and your body is very intelligent, and it's just telling you, like, no, you actually made me go to the gym when, like, I've been telling you I wanted to work out, and you talking about out of nowhere, you didn't make me do an hour, and you just made me do this hour for this last 4 weeks. And you skip meals, and you talking about cutting carbs, and you talking about still going to school, and you talking about skipping sleep, and you're sexually active with your husband, with your boyfriend. God forbid some of y'all have more than one partner. So that's what's happening. I'm just me. I'm, no shade. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? I know girls is players too. However they say it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? To say this is a judge-free zone. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I got to throw my little personality in there. That's what they say you got to do on podcasts. So I got to do that. All right. So when it boils down to that, right, you're getting burnt out, right? And so when it boils down to I've tried everything, you don't have spacing for everything, right? So a lot of times you can try working out, but it's not going to last because of your schedule. And so, yes, it is easier for you to go into the surgery room and get this cut off or cut out of you, or not cut out, or placed in other areas, or, how surgery goes, right? So the thing about this is, right, when we talk about doing it the other way, right, you're not fixing those underlying habits. And that's the problem, because the person that is going to keep it on the natural side is just going to ping pong back and forth. But the person that tried everything and you're not fixing the underlying health habits, it makes it actually worse, because now you feel like you've got out of the situation. But those underlying issues of not taking care of yourself and not knowing how to take care of yourself with your career is worse when you don't see it. Because at least a person that can see it, in the mirror can continue to ping pong and try to fix it. And hopefully you get in tune with listening to this video and hire a coach to get you past that, the proper coach that really understands proper exercise and proper rest, because there's a difference knowing how to do that. And you can hire me if you need to. Okay, but if not, it's fine. I'm giving you tips to do it yourself too. All right, because it's not all about that either. But that person now, one, will gain that weight back. They will gain it back, and you've wasted your money, right? And honestly, it's sometimes worse, because sometimes I've seen women where now it's getting bigger in other areas. Now you got Donkey Kong arms, potato salad arms, right? You know the joke when they say, I want the potato salad made with the arms in, with the hanging in the back. You know what I'm saying? And I can say these things because I was big, so I don't care. Because I had all them potato salad arms, so I'm qualified. Put my picture back up. I'm qualified. I'm qualified. I don't care. I was there. Yes. And so I'm saying that it could be worse, because now you don't see the issue. And now, when you're not taking care of yourself, right? If you have fat, right, in places that should not be there, these are underlying issues, and they create more than just an issue in the mirror. And so cutting them off and ping-ponging them back, and I'm saying cutting them off by putting a Band-Aid on it, and let me not even say Band-Aid, because it's not easy getting surgery, so excuse me for that. But going and allowing somebody who doesn't care and doesn't know you, and I'm seeing some of these videos, they are winging y'all in and out them doors. It's like you ordering food, and this is major surgery, right? I've seen a video where this morning, right, just to refresh my memory, one lady said that she got surgery, and when she went for her checkup, the doctor just came in there and said, is everything okay? All right, you good? She was like, he was in there. She was like, she didn't know. She was actually happy about it. She was like, he was only in there for 5 minutes. And she was like, yeah, he just came in and he asked me, was I okay? Looked at me, seen that, I was okay. And, he was in and out of there in 5 minutes, and I got my massage. She was trying to make it seem like it was a fast process. But to me, I read that wrong. I'm like, 5 minutes? I'm like, 5 minutes? You can't walk. You can't walk. You can't sit down right now. You're talking about major swelling. You're talking about a major loss of blood, and somebody came post-op and talked to you for 5 minutes? What? Like, let's really let that sink in, right? I just had a client on the phone today. My call was supposed to be 20 minutes. You know how long we stayed on the phone? 2 hours. 2 hours. I missed my skating lesson talking to this lady. And I'm not saying it to say that I'm getting sucked in. It's just I care. If I'm supposed to talk to you, I'm going to do it. It's not even a money thing. And I actually gave her my old price and still talk to her longer. And I'm not saying that to be like a pick me, even though you can pick me, but I'm just saying, right? But I'm just saying, get somebody who just cares. Please, y'all, please. Okay? All right. So let's keep it moving, right? You don't think it's possible that you can get an hour-shaped glass, right? Of course, it's not possible if you don't know what you're doing, right? A lot of the times when it boils down to the same woman that says, I've tried everything, a lot of times you just tried doing a bunch of cardio and working out a little bit. It takes 2 years. Look, I'm going to just keep it a band with y'all. It takes 2 years to build the body that you truly want and can maintain if you have not been exercising. If you've been an ex-athlete or if you've been exercising all your life and you starting to stop me, those are different stories. But I'm talking about somebody that has not done any proper exercising for 5+ years. And when it boils down to thinking like, I can't get that shape, or, I love watching women come down the street and, I'm looking, I've seen women say this too, I'm looking like that. I got the surgery because I like what I see, and I get it, right? I absolutely get it. But we all have divine shapes. And when it boils down to, creating a body that you want, it just formulates into focus. And so a lot of the times, like I just said, a lot of y'all, when it boils down to really building a body that you want, you cannot do a lot of the other tasks, because when it comes down to having a nice shape, right? Having a real like shape that you actually build in the gym, it is a whole mental mind frame. Your whole environment has to change. And sometimes you can't do it because you're holding on to the same toxic environments that have created the fat to come, right? Because what people don't understand is, right, our bodies and how we react, right? So when we know we're supposed to be exercising and we're not, when we know we're supposed to not be eating this way and we're doing it anyway, that means there's an underlying situation that is causing you to do these things, right? And so sometimes it just takes letting go and just only focusing on just health, just fitness, not money. Saying, look, I'm actually gonna let go of money right now to take care of me, because when the car is built, we could go. When I like how I look in the mirror, I can talk how I need to talk. I can feel more confidence. We're going to bring it back. But what happens is that it's a lot to give up, because when you have to go into the gym, right, you got to go to bed on time, right? You got to have a set bedtime. You have to put you first. And some of these things may just be so uncomfortable. So laying on the table can be an option because you don't have to fix those things. But guess what? You still got to go through that recovery phase, and then you still got to go through that mental phase. All right. So when we talk about, not thinking that you can get the shape that you want, we all can get any shape as far as our DNA can allow, and we can get awesome shapes. I don't care if you're a slim girl, right? You can still build your glutes, because glutes are muscle. If you put focus on building these areas in at least 2 to 3 times a week, and you're progressively overloading, meaning you're properly training your glutes, I recommend a coach, because it's just the best way to do it. A coach that really specializes in understanding you, right? And customizing it towards what you have going on, and makes it open where you can express yourself, where they can help you, or you can get with me, right? But when it boils down to building the body that you want, right, you have to be patient. And that is where is the underlying factor of all human beings when it boils down to becoming who we want to become. It is the patience. And sometimes it's thin already because we're overworking, because of what happens of us being trained in high school, right? Just going, and then doing the same thing in college, just going. And we don't realize how much we actually sacrifice to get these things done. But anything that is living, that is important, like seasons, right? Like animals, right? They all do the same thing. They don't do different things. Fall is always fall when it's supposed to be fall. Spring is spring when it's supposed to be spring. Summer is summer when it's supposed to be summer. Squirrels are going to sleep when they're supposed to, right? Only animals that don't is domesticated ones, right? And so it's hard to build that shape when you don't have you as number one. So when you put you as number one, which sometimes may feel so awkward, it may feel like you neglecting people, right? It may feel like you can't be the ultimate mom right now. A lot of times if we're not number one, you can't be ultimate anyway, because the body is meant to be self-preservation first. It is never going to put anything else in front of it, no matter who it is. And I'm saying that to say, yes, we can say, it sounds good to say, yeah, my kids come first. It sounds good to say, but deep down inside that when you put everything first, you know how you only feel when you wake up and you don't feel complete and you don't feel good. You are first. You putting you first allows you to be able to give what you need to give to everybody, because everybody puts their self first. Those kids is putting themselves first. We know kids is one of the most selfish people. They love it. We love them, but they selfish. They supposed to be though. Like, why not? You're supposed to care about yourself first and then care for other people, because you're the person that has to give the caring. You're the person that has to give the energy to care. You're the person that has to give the energy to cater to someone, no matter who it is. So you have to be first. And I know we've been taught it looks good, it sounds good, but honestly, what I'm noticing is that the only time it sounds good to say I'm putting others first is when you don't put yourself first. And so it sounds good to put something first or someone first subconsciously, and that's what a lot of times we're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm saying is that it has a place in time. So yes, we can put others in front of us because we should, at times, but you only are supposed to do that when you can do it. So if you don't put you first, you won't know what you have to give and what your max is. So by you not putting you first, you're ending up overworking yourself, and that's where we get the sickness. That's where we get the unhealthiness, and then we don't have processes to handle these things. Then that's where we get the weight gain, and then that's where we get the cellulite, and that's where we get the bodies that we don't like, but we have the money that we like, right? We'll have everybody else happy, but then we're not. All right. Next, right? You don't want to work out, right? I get that, right? Definitely get that. But the thing is, right, your body and is meant for movement, right? It's a must. It is in the manual that we work out. So when it boils down to, like I said, us building a body that we want, right? When it comes down to us building a body realistically, right? When somebody works a 9 to 5, right? Your workouts can be an hour. Your workouts can be 2 hours when you build up to it, right? But if you're somebody that's trying to do 10 things at one time, you're trying to be, a mom, you're trying to have a career, you're trying to be, a wife, right? Or you're trying to prepare yourself for a partner to come, right? And you want to, you're still doing school things, or you're learning something else, or learning another skill, right? We're not keeping it simple. Then, if you're not going to keep your daily tasks simple, you have to keep your health simple. And what I'm learning is that because a lot of times women are overexerting themselves, when it's time to say, look, to keep things simple, right? All I want you to do is, just cook. And I'm going to use meat just because it's simple. But if you eat meat, right, if your life is all over the place, right, and everywhere, then the best way to keep it simple is to eat the same thing all week, because then you just make your chicken, make your carbohydrate, your sweet potatoes, right? Or if you're, plant-based and you want to make, real food like lentils for your protein, or beans, and making sure, if you're vegan, getting your fruits and things like that. And we ain't going to go into a nutritional dialogue right now. But most of the time, what I'm getting into when women, they have all these busy lives, and I'm like, look, you have to make your food simple. Who cares if you don't want to eat that? Because you don't have time. Your schedule is so packed. You don't have time to work on new recipes, and you don't want to. So, but you also are like, I'm bored of what I eat. It's just insanity. Then you don't want to spend the money on somebody to make your food for you. So I'm like, that's why a lot of women can't stick with it either. But when you talk to men about these things, they'll eat the same thing. They can push and overwork themselves and then eat the same things. We can't do that. Right? Or you gotta develop that talent, right, of not connecting your food. What you're eating does not have to emotionally heal you at that time frame. So, and a lot of times it's hard to do, right? And so if you're not somebody who works for themselves, you work for everybody, you work for somebody else, your time is going to other people, then the backlash comes from you. And what I mean by that is that you are giving out all these energy to everybody else, and then your willpower is shot. But because you want to seem like you have it going on all the time, it's a performance, right? But when that performance is over and it's time for you to recover yourself from all of the dancing and shaking and, you know what I'm saying, and all of those things, all of these tours you're doing, right? All of these tours, you need that rest. And what happens is, that rest, if it's not coming from actual sleep because you're giving yourself sleep, right? And then also if it's not coming from, the food that you enjoy, which gives you that dopamine, that actual comfort, right? What they call comfort food. Why do you think they call it comfort food? When you're not eating that comfort food and, you have to eat something that is the same because of your time frame, it's hard to stick to it. And so you're like, I tried everything. Like, this dieting sucks. And it's like, well, honestly, you should love your food. When it boils down to the things that you're eating, when you're building a body that you want want to build, you should absolutely love it. Like, the reason why I can stay on my eating is because everything I eat, I be like, yo, this tastes so good, and it doesn't disturb my results as far as building my body. But for me, I sacrificed. I didn't care about making money for a long time. I just started caring about making money 3 years ago, because I actually built myself up enough to now I can move how I want to move, because now I know how to take care of myself, and I can move however I want to move, and I know my max. And so anytime I want to go over my max, I know I got to link with other people, right? But when I'm coming across women who are calling my phone, they're at their max and they don't want to give up stuff, and you want more. So when it boils down to saying, I tried everything, yeah, you can't stay with it, because it really takes a physical beating. Like, what people don't understand is exercise is absolutely stress to the body. You're talking about already being stressed, and you're talking about going into the gym and stressing yourself out for an hour more, but you didn't give up nothing that's stressing you out, which is causing you to be unhealthy. You're just adding more to it, and you're like, I tried working out, I can't stick. I tried it. Yeah. And you didn't need to be in the gym for an hour. You need to work out for 20 minutes. Because you don't have the capacity to that. And I will tell you right now, there's women that call my phone, and I can easily, and I tell them all the time, they call my phone and they like, I want to get the butt. I want to get a small waist. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. What's your schedule like? Oh, I work 2 jobs, and I work 8 to 3, and then I work 4 to 11. I'm like, wait, excuse me, you work what? You work 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then you work 4 to 11. I'm like, okay, so when you work 4 to 11, right, you at home working where you could just get in the bed at 11 and wake up at like 6. No, I have to actually drive. So I'm really pretty much kind of like, sometimes, they want me to stay later. So sometimes I'm working till 1, and then I get home, and then I go to bed, and then I get up. I'm like, so what you basically saying is you work 8 to 3, right? And then you got to go to another job from 4 to 11 with no break in between. Sometimes you don't know if they're going to let you off at 11, right? But you want a butt. I'm like, you know what? With all due respect, I said, with all due respect, I said, I could take your money. I really could, but this is not that. I really care. If anybody, this is not, if you go to anybody else and they take you as a client, run. Because you are not going to last. And I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm just saying, like, where's the rest? I was like, I would feel so bad if I tell you to get up. You talking about 8 o'clock. You talking about getting home at 12 and then settling down. When you get off work, you don't just jump right into bed sometime unless you're tired. You need like another 2 hours because you just want time to yourself. So I'm like, you going to bed around 1? They're like, yes. I'm like, and you pretty much, going to bed around 1, 2 and getting up at 6 so you can get ready to be somewhere at 8. I'm like, that's 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm like, my advice is, to really get your sleeping together and like really figure out. I said, I can't, this is not, I know you called me for fitness, so I don't want to make it a financial thing, but I was like, that's just real detrimental. And I was like, the best we could do right now is give you the eating, because I said, how do you eat? You eating anything and that's your schedule? I was like, the best we could do is work on eating. And this is several conversations that I have where I'm like, look, if this is your schedule, you need to be eating on point 100% because you don't even sleep to recover. And fasting. And I didn't even get to the fasting part because that's a whole nother lesson. But some of this sounds like y'all schedule, and you're talking about going to the gym. And some of this is y'all schedule, and you laying on the table getting surgery. Like, so I'm just bringing these topics up so y'all can really understand. And this is just touching like the tip. I didn't even get into the deepness of it. I'm going to have to do a part 2. All right. So how long are we at? Where we at on this time frame?
54.
We in an hour. Damn. I only touched like 3 topics. All right. Let's wrap this up for this part, right? Let's see, right? All right. Let's close it out with, I think you know what? I think I'm going to leave it at this. I'm not even gonna go. The next topics I was going to talk to y'all about is what they don't tell you about the BBL that people don't think of, right? So we're gonna touch base space on that in a part 2. Let's see, for the last part that I want to talk about is, okay, so why you think you can't have the body of your dreams, right? A lot of times women are getting this surgery because of why they think that they can't have the body of their dreams, right? And the main thing what this boils down to is your schedule, right? If you're thinking about getting BBL surgery, right, and you're saying, I tried everything and it's not working, it is because it's your schedule and you don't know what you're doing. And that's just what it boils down to. Any woman can build an amazing frame. I don't care from what race or culture. It just comes down to knowledge and actually properly training the muscles in your glutes and having the schedule to recover and not being cheap, because it costs more because you have to eat more. Some of y'all are skipping meals. Some of y'all have never exercised in your life and you just want a butt tomorrow. It takes time. Because one, if you haven't exercised, you have to just go through the process of actually learning how much food to eat, actually taking time to cook, taking time to build up the stamina to even get ready to put on muscle, right? And then you have to be patient, right? Some of y'all are not ready to put yourselves first. It's a scary thing for a lot of y'all, and I understand. So takeaways from this video is to not downplay any type of surgery. It is to understand that there isn't any difference in the difficultness of whether you do it through exercise or whether you do it through surgery. However, the risks are super serious on the surgery side because of the fact of how much losses are. And a lot of times what people don't tell you is, I get these calls. I get these calls of women who I know who have had surgery, and from all the women that have talked to me about it, it's never not been a complication. And a lot of people will not tell you what's going on. And a lot of people that may be doing these videos right now, if they're brand new, a year and 2 years in, nobody knows what this surgery is going to do in the next 20 or 30 years. That's just a fact. Nobody knows what it's going to produce because we didn't get to that time frame yet. And what I can tell y'all is that if you look at a house and you build a house, right? Nature is always going to push through something that has not been done naturally to it. So if you build a house on a land, the house is going to be good for a certain amount of years, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it that nature is going to come and do something to it. We all know that. And so what I like to say is, right, when the gym is building up that brick house, right, it's going to take the longer route, but it is the brick foundation, because when it boils down to you really rebuilding those habits, that's that brick by brick by brick by brick. So when situations come, you've learned how to say, look, when this situation happened, I still know how to take care of myself. When I'm low on income, I still know how to take care of myself. When my relationship is not going well, I still take care of myself. Now as a mother, I still take care of myself. When I go to school, when I push for more, I know how to take care of myself because I reprogram myself. That's that brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, to the point where when that house is built, you pretty much can know if a storm come, it may be a little rick rock, that's a little word I just made up, but a little riff raff, but you know how to get back on it. Now the surgery, right, could build that house that look good with the aluminum. I don't really know about the materials, but it can look good, right? But man, when the wind knock it down, what are you gonna do? And this is what I mean by that is, right, when the wind comes and knocks it down, when there's a traumatic experience, right, and you haven't fixed those old habits of whatever those habits were before, you got two things, right? When you get surgery, you still gotta go to the brick side. You still gotta go to the gym and build up the actual necessity, that the needs of the human body to survive, period. You still have to build that up. You're not skipping that. And when we don't have these elements, issues come. And what happens is, when that aluminum start pulling off the side of the house, you got two options. You either gonna be the person that fixed it the cheap way, right? Or you're going to be the person that's like, nah, we really got to build it the correct way. And the cheap way is not saying that you're cheating. It just means that somebody else is going to come in and keep giving you more surgery to fix this situation, right? Or you're going to come to the side of the bricks and really build it, but you're you're never skipping that phase of changing that mind frame. You are going to have to fix it anyway. And the thing about it is that what happens when we keep doing it the cheap way, at some point in time, you gotta stop building it cheap, because when it's time to resell, when it's time, it ain't gonna be worth nothing, or honestly, it's just never gonna hold up. And you like, yo, I can't keep getting it. I look crazy now. Excuse my language, but we know that when people keep getting surgery, it starts to look kind of weird a little bit. Please, no disrespect. I'm just saying, right? And so when we build that brick by brick by brick, yeah, that house is solid, and yeah, it bust me, and yeah, I was sweating and going through it, but I was sweating the same way at the damn aluminum, with the aluminum way. You know what I'm saying? I was still had to go and risk the hikes and all of those things, but now I still gotta build the brick, or I'm gonna keep being cheap. And then at some point in time later down the line, which we hope that years later nothing happens, but at some point you still gotta come to this side. So that's what I wanted to say for part 1. And hope y'all learned from this video. Also, if anybody is looking to train with me, right, I have a program that is built to help women realistically learn. And this is not to sell anybody anything. I just showed you how to do it. You have to do it with patience or a coach. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When I was 250, I had to learn. I went through some crazy things teaching myself. So I've been only doing this since I was 21. I've not been training for 6 years. I've not been doing nothing with my time besides helping people become better versions of themselves and become healthier. I know what I'm talking about when I watch this, and I haven't scratched the surface. We're going to have about 4 parts to this. It's so deeper than what I didn't talk about, the mind connection. What happens when you what happens when you go to the gym and you can't do them push-ups and you can't do those glute exercises, and you have to push yourself and say, yo, we could do it. And what that does to the mind and the body, so that when you are in your regular lifestyle, you know how to push yourself naturally and you know your max. And when you get to see yourself be able to push and get stronger, that connects the mind, the body, and the soul to see like, yo, we are really growing, because now my mind knows how to make my body go for a positive, right? And it understands like what it can actually really do. But when you go and get surgery, you rob yourself of that connection. That's literally like somebody coming in your room, right? Let's say you have your room messy, right? But you know where everything is, right? But when somebody come in and just move everything and just move this here and put stuff in the attic, right? That's like you laying on the table, right? And your body knows where it wants to store its fat, and somebody came out of nowhere and just placed it in another area. If you don't think it's going to be a situation with that, when you get to your room and we going to go in. This is just part 1. So send this video out, give your comments, leave your thoughts. I don't care what they are. They could be positive, negative feedbacks, man. I'm here to help. I'm here to get better. And I want us healthy. I want us safe, regardless of the way it is. There's no judgment here, man. If you got it, you got it. No judgment. You still got to go to the gym. You still got to work out. It's no judgment. It's none of that. I get it. If you're thinking about getting it, it's no judgment. If you're not thinking about getting it and you learned, good. You got something out of it. I'm sure we all did. Thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. This is your girl, Health is Key, with the Health and Hip Hop Show. That was booty. Health and Hip Hop Show. Shout out to my guy, composer Rel. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is my first episode by myself. So thank y'all. Peace.